Hello, my name is Hans George Campbell. Today I'm going to show you and talk about my Macintosh LC III computer. The Macintosh LC III was released February 10th, 1993 and was discontinued February 14th, 1994. The original price of the Macintosh LC III was $1,349. The keyboard, mouse, and monitor were sold separately. You can run System 7.1 to System 7.6.1 on the Macintosh LC III. Inside the pizza box case is a Motorola 68030 processor running at 25 MHz. There is an IC socket for installing a Motorola 68882 math coprocessor. 4 MB of memory are soldered on the motherboard, which can be expanded to 36 MB by installing a 32 MB 72-pin SIM. There is 512K of video RAM soldered on the motherboard, which can be expanded to 1 MB by installing a 512K SIM. The Macintosh LC III has a processor direct slot, which was mainly used for installing an Apple IIe card. These computers were mainly used in schools. Well, those are the details of one of my favorite classic Macintosh computers. I just love these pizza box Macintosh computers. I just love these. Okay, here we have the front of the Macintosh LC III computer. This right here is the Apple logo. This is the label, Macintosh LC III. And if you notice, unlike the Macintosh LC and LC2, the LC3 does not have this blanking plate here for the optional disk drive. Because on the LC, only about 5% of all customers actually use that option. 95% of the people that bought the Macintosh LC, they never installed a second disk drive. It was always a hard drive. So Apple decided to remove this blanking plate from the LC2 and the LC3. Okay, this is the Apple SuperDrive. It can read and write high-density Macintosh disks as well as high-density IBM PC disks. Okay, so let's turn her around. I get her lined up on the camera. I'm not going to go overboard with it, but, you know, I want it to look good. I'm thinking like that's pretty good. I mean, yeah. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I don't want to go overboard with this. Alrighty. These are the two tabs that you need to pull up in order to open the cover, open and remove the cover from the Macintosh LC III. This is your power switch that you use to turn the computer on and off. The Macintosh LC III does not support soft power on. In other words, you can't use the keyboard for turning the computer on or off. You have to use this power switch right here. This right here is the jack for your AC power cord. This is the monitor port for the high-resolution RGB Apple monitors. This port here is for the Apple Image Writer printer. This is for your modem. This is a 25-pin SCSI port, external SCSI port. This is the keyboard connector, and the mouse plugs into the keyboard. This is your audio out, in case you want to plug in external speakers. You want to use external speakers with your Macintosh LC3. And this is your microphone input. And this right here is a blanking plate for the processor direct slot, which was usually occupied by an Apple IIe card. And there would be a jack right here for an external 5 1/4 inch Apple drive. That's what was usually here. Okay, so let me show you how to open up this Macintosh LC3. I think I might have to zoom out a little bit. And I want to make sure it's pretty much centered in the camera. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I mean, I don't want to go overboard. Yeah. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm loving it. Okay, anyway, you got these two tabs here. And you have to be very careful with these, because on this vintage plastic, these tabs can break very easily. So what you do is you just very gently, I usually put my thumb over the top of the tabs while I'm pulling up with my other fingers to make sure that I don't break those tabs. And you'll hear it click, see? And it's like a hinge action on the front. And that's how you remove the cover. Okay, here is the inside of the Macintosh LC3 computer. We'll start with the 68030 microprocessor, which is right here, running at 25 megahertz. This is the socket for the optional math coprocessor. These are your two Apple ROMs for this computer. This is your PRAM battery. This is your processor direct slot. This here is your audio circuitry in this area. This is the AMD chip. It's a SCSI controller chip. This is the main logic chip. This is the 512K of video RAM that's soldered onto the motherboard. And this is an additional 512K of video RAM that's plugged into this socket here. Okay, this is the, I believe, the Macintosh LC3 has 4 megabytes of memory soldered onto the motherboard, which is right here. I believe this is 4 megabytes, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because when you add a 32 megabyte SIM here, it bumps up the memory to 36 megabytes. So yeah, this is 4 megabytes that's on the motherboard. Okay, this is your power supply. Okay, it's a TDK. Now these TDK power supplies, they'll often have problems with the electrolytic capacitors leaking. So one of the first things I would recommend doing if your Macintosh LC3 has one of these power supplies is to open it up and to go ahead and replace all those caps, which I'm going to be doing in a future video, so I'll show you how to do all that. This is the Apple SuperDrive, which can read and write high-density Macintosh disks as well as high-density IBM PC disks. Okay. This is your speaker. This is the fan. And this is your SCSI hard drive. This one is an IBM drive, SCSI. And it looks like it's 80 megabyte. I think this is the original drive that came in this computer. Anyway, that's the inside of the Macintosh LC III. Okay, I'm back. This is a brand new power supply for the Macintosh LC series of computers. Brand new in an Apple Service Center box. Well, there's the number of it right there. Okay, and then let's go ahead and open up this box. Okay, well, I'll make sure that you can see it. And that is the power supply. It's a, well, I'm trying to get it where you can see it. It's a TDK, one of those TDK power supplies. And there's the one side. There's the rear with the connector, or the side with the connector on it. Power switch and AC cord plug. Real simple power supply. But yeah, I just thought I'd show this. I thought it was pretty cool.